Most people live their lives begging to be chosen. They chase validation like it's oxygen, desperate for someone, anyone, to see their worth. And yet, they do not see it themselves. This is the sickness of the modern soul, to feel invisible in a world that never stops looking, and still believe it's your fault for not shining bright enough. But the truth is this: value does not scream, it does not chase, it does not explain, it simply is. And the moment you understand your intrinsic value, not the price others assign to you, you begin to move differently. You are not a product on a shelf, waiting for the highest bidder. You are not a discounted version of yourself just because someone failed to recognize your depth. The mistake is in thinking that your worth must be proven rather than realized. But the eyes that cannot see gold in its raw form are not worthy of its shine once polished. If you believe you are ordinary, you will allow yourself to be treated as replaceable. You will negotiate for attention. You will plead for space. And you will always come up short, not because you are small, but because you handed the world the measuring stick. To make them see you as a luxury, you must first stop offering yourself as a bargain. Stop lowering your standards in the name of connection. Stop shrinking yourself so others can feel comfortable in your presence. There is no dignity in desperation, no respect in being available to anyone who asks. Luxury is not found in how many people want you, it's found in how rare your energy is, how sacred your silence feels, how difficult it is to access your inner world without merit. I know. This isn't easy. You were taught to please, to perform, to prove. You were told that if you give more, love more, try more, you will finally be enough. And yet, the more you gave, the more they pulled away. Because deep down, people do not cherish what comes too easily. They do not respect what has no boundaries. And so you became an option, not because you lacked beauty or intelligence, but because you forgot that your presence alone is the luxury. Luxury does not beg to be chosen. It is chosen by those who have the eyes to see it and the soul to recognize it. It doesn't audition. It doesn't convince. It simply exists. And by existing in its full, unapologetic essence, it creates desire. So you must ask yourself, not what can I do to be picked, but what must I remember to see myself as priceless? The answer is this: you must stop waiting for others to crown you when you were born with your own. Everything about you that you hide, water down, or edit to become more likable is the very thing that would set you apart if you embraced it. Your intensity, your silence, your mystery, your boundaries, your expectations, these are not flaws. These are features of someone who is no longer willing to be misunderstood in exchange for temporary affection. You must walk into every room knowing that your value is not up for debate, not because you're arrogant, but because you're aware. And when you become aware, you stop entertaining anything that asks you to abandon yourself for it. You stop explaining your standards. You stop overextending in hopes that they'll finally see you. Because here's the truth: they can see you. Most people see your power. They just pretend not to, hoping you haven't noticed it yet, hoping you'll keep discounting yourself for their convenience. But the moment you wake up to your worth, you become too expensive for their gain. And you must be okay with that. You must be okay with being too much for those who want too little. You must be okay with being passed up by those who are looking for easy access, for surface-level connection, for something ordinary. You are not ordinary, and so you will not be for everyone. That's the point. That's the power. What is rare is not supposed to be widely accepted. It is supposed to be understood only by those with the capacity to receive it. So, if you want to be seen as a luxury, you must first become unavailable to anyone who treats you like an afterthought. You must rise above the need to be chosen and instead choose yourself so powerfully that your absence becomes a statement. Because when you understand your intrinsic value, truly understand it, you stop offering discounts. You stop making yourself accessible to indecision. You stop waiting to be seen. You become the vision. The moment you stop needing their approval is the moment they start noticing your presence. That's the paradox no one tells you. When you're hungry for validation, they sense it. And the truth is, people don't value what needs them. They value what doesn't. You think that being kind, available, responsive, constantly proving your worth will earn you love. But the one who gives endlessly without boundaries becomes invisible. Because to be everywhere is to be nowhere in particular. To be too accessible is to be too forgettable. You were not born to perform. You were not made to shapeshift for the comfort of others. But somewhere along the way, you were conditioned to believe that if you just did a little more, gave a little more, smiled a little more, they would finally see you, they would finally stay, they would finally choose you. And so you became a mirror, reflecting what others wanted to see, never what you truly are. But a mirror is only useful until the person sees their own reflection and walks away. And you're left with nothing but the emptiness of approval that never lasted. Validation is a drug. It gives you a high that fades as soon as they stop clapping, as soon as they stop texting, as soon as they stop needing something from you. And in that silence, you panic. You ask yourself what you did wrong. You retrace every step, thinking you could have been more, when the real betrayal was abandoning yourself just to feel accepted. You forgot that the one who truly knows their worth does not wait to be validated. They validate themselves through their standards, their solitude, their refusal to compromise their identity for temporary affection. You must understand, the moment you make someone else responsible for your self-worth, you hand them the power to destroy you. If their approval lifts you, their rejection will break you. That is no way to live. That is emotional slavery disguised as love. And the reason most people remain as options is because they live for applause instead of alignment. They want to be chosen so badly that they lose themselves in the process. But what is the value of being chosen when you had to disappear to be accepted? People are attracted to what is self-contained. What doesn't flinch under silence? What doesn't beg under pressure? There is a mystery to someone who validates themselves internally. Someone who doesn't need your yes to feel worthy. Who can walk away even while wanting to stay. Who would rather lose a connection than lose themselves. That kind of energy is powerful. That kind of energy is rare. And rarity, by its very nature, commands attention without needing to ask for it. So if you want to stop being an option, you must stop making your self-worth negotiable. You must stop adjusting your truth to match their comfort. The people who can't accept your full expression are simply not meant to stand in your light. Let them go. You were not meant to be consumed by the masses. You were meant to be revered by the few who see you clearly without needing you to be anything other than exactly who you are. And yes, it will be lonely at first, because when you stop needing validation, you also stop attracting those who were only ever interested in what you could give them. When you detach, they will fall away. But let them. Their absence is not your loss. It is your liberation. It is the return of your soul to its rightful place, whole, grounded, and untouchable. When you no longer seek validation, something incredible happens. You start becoming the standard. You start becoming the one people want to impress, to earn, to understand. Not because you are playing hard to get, but because you are no longer playing at all. You've left the game entirely, and in doing so, you rise, quietly, powerfully, authentically. Because what is truly valuable does not campaign for attention. It does not audition for love. It does not dance for validation. It simply lives, and those who are meant to see it will. There's a reason people stare longer at silence than at noise. Real presence, true presence, doesn't come from being flashy or loud. It comes from something much deeper. It's the calm in your voice, the steadiness in your eyes, The way you carry yourself like you know exactly who you are, even when no one is looking. You want to be seen as a luxury? Then stop dressing up your emptiness and start cultivating your essence. Because real luxury doesn't beg for attention. It simply draws it in, effortlessly, magnetically, without ever needing to try. We live in a world where people have learned to decorate the surface while neglecting the soul. They learn how to appear desirable, but they don't know how to be someone worth desiring. They master the performance, but they fear the pause. They speak in curated tones, live in curated moments, and forget that presence isn't about what you look like. It's about the energy that follows you into a room, and that energy cannot be faked. You can wear elegance, but if you don't embody it, people will feel the gap. They always do. Your worth is not in how much attention you can gather, but in how little you need it. The world teaches you to chase aesthetics, to build the appearance of value. But no matter how much you decorate a hollow shell, it will always feel fragile. When you have depth, you don't need decoration. You don't need to shout your worth to be noticed. It's there in your stillness. It's there in your restraint. It's there in your refusal to prove yourself. True elegance is found in someone who doesn't flinch at silence, who doesn't need to fill space to feel seen, who understands that their mere presence can shift a room, not because they're louder, but because they're more anchored. That's what people remember. Not the one who needed to be everywhere, but the one who stood quietly and somehow said more without speaking. Stop focusing on visibility and start cultivating substance. You want people to see you as a luxury? Then become someone who brings value by simply being. And to do that, you must step into your own quiet power. You must know who you are when no one is clapping, when the room goes quiet, when you're not being praised, desired, or adored. Because in those moments, most people fall apart, but you, if you've done the work, you remain whole. Parenting. There is no luxury in pretending. There is no elegance in needing to be everything to everyone. You become magnetic when you become true. When your voice comes from somewhere rooted, not rehearsed. When your presence feels grounded, not performative. People feel it when you've done the work. They may not be able to name it, but they sense it. It's the way you don't chase. It's the way you don't shrink. It's the way you look at someone, not to be seen, but to see. In that presence, people begin to respect your silence more than they once respected your words.
Hello and welcome. Today we are talking to all BCom students about how hard work and dedication can turn your dreams into reality. Many of you might be studying accounting, finance, or business management, but remember, true success does not come from just marks or degrees. It comes from vision, determination, and smart effort. Luxury cars, high-end gadgets, beautiful homes, and financial freedom are not impossible. They are rewards for those who work consistently and wisely. Start by setting clear goals. Know what kind of lifestyle you want and plan your steps accordingly. Education is important, but practical skills, networking, and discipline are equally vital. Invest in yourself, learn new skills, stay updated with market trends, and be ready to adapt. Challenges will come, but they are stepping stones, not obstacles. Every small step counts, and consistency creates momentum. Never compare your journey with others. Focus on your growth and opportunities. Remember that luxury is not just material, it is the freedom and confidence you earn through hard work. Dream big, aim high, and take action today. Your future is created by what you do now, not tomorrow. Stay motivated, stay focused, and believe in your potential. The path to luxury starts with your dedication and mindset.